Dave Canales turn Bryce Young.
No, and I said this when he got drafted. This would be a terrible draft pick. Bryce Young belongs in the UFL.
Stop.
Bryce Young is not an NFL quarterback. He is not an NFL quarterback. He will never have great success in the NFL, and he was one of the worst picks a team has ever made in the history of the NFL.
Will Bryce Young, gosh, I feel bad even asking this. Will Bryce Young go down as the worst #1 draft pick ever?
Possibly.
Things started out horribly for Bryce Young. 3 weeks in to the second season of his career, he was already benched for 37-year-old Andy Dalton. Was being too short too big of an obstacle for Bryce Young to overcome?
And Young is throwing on first down. To the ground, ruled an interception by Will Harris, who spins. Bryce Young drops back to pass, middle of the field, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by the Chargers. Elijah Molden came diving into the...
You see, on top of an already horrible first season, Bryce Young had one of the worst starts to a season that I think we've ever seen from a second-year quarterback. So bad that we even saw it breaking records. In week 2, Bryce Young had the most completions without reaching 100 yards, still being 16 yards short. A couple fans still holding on to their dear faith in Bryce Young, or claiming it was because of his supporting cast, and this argument seems like it went on to die after Andy Dalton popped off in back-to-back weeks against the Raiders and the Bengals. It all started to get bad around here, as all around the league people began to question Bryce Young's talent. Was he even talented in general? Because 37-year-old Andy Dalton in this supposedly bad system had 5 touchdowns and 1 interception and then over 500 yards in 2 games. Was Bryce Young really this bad at quarterback? To add more to the injury for Bryce Young, after already being benched, CJ Stroud, the quarterback picked right after him, had been completely outperforming him his whole career. But luckily enough, it wasn't over for Bryce Young. He had one final chance to prove himself.
We've got breaking news out of the NFL. The Panthers will be starting Bryce Young on Sunday against the Broncos. Young takes over for Andy Dalton, who sprained his thumb in a car accident Tuesday near downtown Charlotte.
Well, Bryce Young definitely seized on his opportunity. With him coming back against the Broncos, who had a very prominent defense starting this season, he was able to throw for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Even though he did have 2 ins, he was showing signs of life and growth that he wasn't showing before earlier in the season. Coming off the decent performance he had with the Broncos, Bryce Young still had a lot more to prove, as he hasn't really shown much, or even shown the ability to win. But there was definitely a time for these wins to come through, and if there were any time, it would be right now, as in back-to-back weeks, he has a very weak Saints team that's on a 6-game losing streak, and then he has the Giants, who are just flat-out terrible. So this is his chance to win games. And this is what happened in both of these games.
Sanders out of the backfield. The pass is wobbled. Caught! Ligon. Matthews coming from the outside. He'll just throw it up for grabs again for Sanders, and he can't hang on. There's a flag, though.
They're going to get Demario Davis for pass interference. When you watch,
They'll go to Hubbard. And Hubbard slides through the defense, breaks through the 5, toward the end zone, slides in safely. Touchdown, Hubbard.
In the timeout, they're quickly getting to the line.
On 3rd and 16. With 1:15 to play underneath to Kamara. He's been a machine today. And he's up to the 46. Carr looking left, lofting left for Wilson. And he can't hang on. Mike Jackson on the coverage, and the Panthers will take over. The Saints have now lost 7 consecutive game.
He hands this one off. And it's a fumble. Ball is loose on the opening possession of overtime. And it is recovered by Josie Jewell.
And just like that, for the first time in Bryce Young's career, he won back-to-back games and even led a game-winning drive against the Saints. While those games were easy, these next 4 games would be the real challenge for Bryce Young. And although he would go on to lose all 4 of these games, he showed us something from himself that we've never seen before from him, and it silenced a lot of his doubters. And he was able to go toe-to-toe with the face of the league, Patrick Mahomes, and he eventually went on to lose his game on a game-winning field goal, 30-27. But it was safe to say Bryce Young was not the problem in this game. It was definitely the Carolina Panthers defense, and that's an upcoming theme that we begin to see on this team. In the next 2 games, we also were robbed of 2 Bryce Young game-winning drives, but he definitely displayed the clutch factor that he has.
Open. Tremble, the tight end, and he's got a first down. Young has time, and he can run, throws for the end zone. Thielen has it. It's a touchdown, Panthers. They've got the lead with 30 seconds to go. 19 seconds. Mayfield, he's got to get rid of it. He somehow gets away, and he's going to take it down the sideline and out of bounds. Chase McLaughlin, the kick, it's up. It's through.
On a scrimmage.
The blitz is on, and pressure's coming, and a high throw, and a one-handed catch. Thielen already in field goal range, and they go to Chuba Hubbard. Ball's out, ripped out by the Bucs, and Diaby is out.
Well, the Carolina Panthers just sold 2 back-to-back Bryce Young game-winning drives, with the first one giving them a 3-point lead with 30 seconds left, and their defense giving up the field goal in this small time, and the second time with Chuba Hubbard fumbling when all they needed was a field goal to win. Surely something like this won't happen again, right?
Defense.
Young stepping away, stepping up, being chased in the end zone, still on his feet, throws downfield, it's caught by Leggett to the 33-yard line.
Bryce Young's going to have an answer. He trusts his quarterbacks.
Pressure coming, Young over the middle, Leggett dropped it. Panthers need the 44. Eagles need a stop for a 9th straight win. Here they come. The Eagles bring the house. Young throws, and guess who? It's Adam Thielen with another clutch catch. He's another blitz from Philadelphia. Young leaves it for Leggett, who lunges out and tumbles down. It's ruled incomplete.
Bryce Young did an excellent job of cutting this ball loose. Oh, it touched the turf. There's Thielen in the slot up top.
They will not get the snap off. It's going to be 4th down and 9. Here comes Philadelphia. Young is on the move, spinning one way and another. He tosses past the sticks, and it's picked away.
And just like that, we were robbed of another Bryce Young game-winning drive off the drop pass by Leggett. He was moving around like crazy that game just to not win. Surely they'll catch a break, right? Well, with Bryce Young already having another really good game with 3 total touchdowns and 0 interceptions, he brought the Panthers back to overtime, and he finally caught a break, catching a win with Chuba Hubbard taking it to the house. Well, Bryce Young has now definitely proven that he can be a decent quarterback in the league. But that's not what the Panthers traded up and drafted him for. They wanted a superstar. And in Week 18, with the chance to eliminate the Falcons from the playoffs, Bryce Young has the chance to prove that he can be just that for the Panthers. And he did just that, completely dominating the Falcons defense, having 5 total touchdowns in the 44-38 overtime victory, where he also led another game-winning drive as he did all year.
Young faked the handoff. Step. Young trying to run. He will for the score. Young from the gun. Deep drop. Young. Separation. Catch made. Sanders. Touchdown. Carolina. For Carolina. Rushes on. Young gets rid of it. And it's handled by Thielen. Atlanta loses a timeout. Fake the handoff. Young. Step and throw. End zone. Touchdown.
Oh, and something you might have not known about that 4th and 1 touchdown, Bryce Young did a no-look pass, showing that he's got the confidence. Turning away on a throw is one thing, but turning away on 4th down is even crazier.
Here, Panthers and Falcons. Young gets rid of it. Caught. Touchdown. David Moore.
The coverage after showing, and he does.
Young downfield. Sideline catch made by Sanders. Fake the handoff. Young out of the pocket. On the move. Young's going to run forward and then some. Touchdown Panthers. Monster day for Bryce Young. At 50 yards receiving, including a touchdown. Fake the handoff, float it, catch made, tremble. Shotgun for Young. He throws it, they get the snap off. Young, over the middle, catch made by Coker. The 11-yard line. Young. Jab, out of the pocket. Young, oh, he pushed it.
Well, it was definitely clear to see that Bryce Young understands it now and has the potential to be a future star in this league. Although it's not going to be easy, especially while being on the Panthers. We've seen his supporting cast around these years, especially on the defense. But one thing Bryce definitely did is silence all of the doubters. Well, not all of them, a majority of them. Haters are still going to hate. And he put on a show this season because after his bench, he had 20 total touchdowns with a 67.7% completion percentage and 2,324 yards. It's safe to say that Bryce Young has definitely turned his career around, and I'm definitely excited to see how he progresses going forward.